Special edition of Wednesday night OWCP chats with Chris and Gini live from our Park City little cabin.
Hello, everyone. We're really excited to be live tonight. We thought we weren't going to do any work. Sorry, can you hear us? I got this microphone in my hand because we're not at home.
Yes. If you can hear us, let us know. Give us some thumbs up.
Or if you can't, just, we don't hear you. There's no sound. I'm pretty sure you hear us, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, we weren't going to do any work, but this is such a beautiful place. We said, we're just happy. Let's just do it. So we're doing it.
Just imagine we're not taking any work calls, but we came on here live for you guys.
I still took 3 work calls today.
Hello,
hey,
Maria.
Maria, do you hear us good? We got our small microphones today.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure. All right, perfect.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Lonnie.
Lonnie. What's up, Lonnie?
Okay, so just a few, we're going to wait a couple minutes before everybody, so everybody can hop on. But let me tell you some housekeeping stuff. And it actually was official as of last night, which we already knew it was official. So
now it's official.
It's official.
Officially official.
Yeah. So we are booked and scheduled to be at the Florida APW State Convention in Miami in April, and we will be there for the entire week.
Shout out to Angela for inviting us and letting us teach.
And Victor.
Are we teaching in Miami?
I don't know yet. I gotta ask. I emailed Angela.
Well, shout out to Angela just for inviting me to Miami.
Yeah, they love us, and we'll always support any of our unions in Florida. You just call me, email me, and we're there. All right.
Where else are we going?
So that's number 1. And then Mr. Garay Davis, a shout out to you and all of your clerks in California. We are going to be training in San Francisco for the APW in California. And Chris is scheduled to train OWCP from 10 to 12 that Sunday, May 19th. If you show up, you guys get a free volume 4 book. So make sure you guys attend, and you should attend anyway. There's some things that go on there. It's really fun. And for all of our APW folks in California, we're so excited to see you guys again, especially those in Redding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's our little favorite group out there. So that's all the housekeeping we got. I don't know if you guys remember Chris talking about, we have about 7 or 10 doctors possibly coming on board. 7?
Yeah, I think there's 7. We've got Orlando just opened up with Dr. K, Dr. Dorfman, Dr. Lee. We're really excited about them. They've already helped, 25 people, I think. And they just opened for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, they opened their doors January 15th.
We've got Little Rock, Arkansas coming.
Okay.
I'm really excited about Little Rock.
Those of you in Little Rock, you've asked and asked and asked, and finally it's happening.
Nina just opened up in South Texas in McAllen.
McAllen, Texas, we are coming.
We've got the newly opened office in Manhattan.
Oh, yes.
With Dr. Malemi. We were just there a couple of weeks ago. And who am I missing? Joe's got some more people. But yeah, we've got some folks that are finally coming on board. I'm really excited about it.
We'll probably be able to tell you next week when we start chatting with the staff again, so we could give you guys an update. But don't ask for locations or addresses. It's only in the first stage. So they might be coming on early summer, something like that. So,
but we're back in growth mode. So we're going to add locations, and we're talking to some folks out in California too, so we can spread that around. And some of our current franchisees are opening up in other locations. Yep. So that's another one. Chattanooga, Tennessee is going to be coming on board. So yeah, we're making some moves to try to help more of you.
All right. So those of you that are on, like the post says, a lot of you have been asking, why do I have to submit a CA20? What is a CA16? I had to last week it was crazy. For some odd reason, people just did not know what a CA16 was till they saw one of our Facebook reels where Chris was talking about a CA16, said they never heard of it. Supervisor never told them or anything like that. So what we're going to do is go over a handful of CA forms and tell you why you have to use them and when you have to use them.
I'm going to give you the 4th grade version of it because it's so complicated. Yes. There's timelines and everything. So I'm going to make it easy for you to understand. Just real quick, shout out to our Virginia Beach federal injury location and to our Columbus, Ohio federal injury location.
Hey guys, Amy is on. If anybody's in those two areas and need to schedule an appointment, you can go ahead and reach out to Amy Martucci and she'll get you scheduled in for, what was the offices?
Columbus, Ohio.
And
then Dr. Clark's office, Virginia Beach, is on too.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share. I need you guys to share because this is very important. We're going over all the CA forms, when to use them, and why you need to use them. So
get a pen and paper.
Yeah, I said that in the post to grab pen, grab a piece of paper.
The other thing is all the forms that we talk about can be found at federalinjurycenters.com. We have an OWCP forms tab. You just click on that. You can pull up the PDF of it and print as many as your heart desires. And then the other thing is I didn't bring a copy of the book with me, but she mentioned it, Breaking OWCP. I want you to download that book. Go to breakingowcp.com and download the books. There's 4 of them, 4 different content in each book. Some overlap, but that's to be expected because some things just like have to do with other things. But go to breakingowcp.com and download Breaking OWCP to your phone and put Breaking OWCP in your pocket.
Yeah, shout out, Michael. Of course, I'm going to remember you from New York. I remember because you
took 2 hours on a train.
Took the train to get to see us.
Yeah, appreciate you making it out.
We got that. Jacqueline, hello from Bloomingdale's, Illinois. Hello.
What's up, my boy Victor?
Wayne Mitchell from Cleveland.
Hey, Wayne.
Victor, nice Ola from Florida. Warm Florida. Good. Keep it there. When I'm coming, I'm bringing back the cold weather, Victor.
Hopefully.
All right, let's get into it. I'll be go ahead and sharing. You guys share and tag your friends that need to be on this. It's all about CA forms. Hit it.
So which one do you want to talk about first?
So let's start off with just the CA one. Let's go down the numbers.
I was going to start with 1. So
and we'll go from
I'm
there.
really good at going in number order. So we're going to go CA 1 and 2. I'm going to talk about both of those.
Hey, Tom from Pittsburgh. Ed, how are you?
So the CA 1 and CA 2, these are the forms that you fill out to report work injuries. You go to ecomp, that's ecomp.dol.gov, and you fill out your CA 1 or 2 electronically. In the olden days, and that wasn't that long ago, like 2021, we were still doing this on paper. And supervisors could give you the hard time, and I'm not going to have you fill this out. I'm not going to help you. I don't have to help you. You're not hurt bad enough. And they just give you all kinds of trouble. Well, now they can't because it's on ecomp, and the supervisor just gets an email that says, okay, time to do your part. And then they have 10 days to do their part. So they're on the clock, and it's pretty great. So what you want to do is go to ecomp and fill out your CA 1 or 2. So a CA 1 is what's filled out for an injury that happens in a single shift. Like you step down out of your vehicle and twist your knee. That just happened. That's a CA 1. A CA 2 is something that just develops over time, over 2 or more shifts. It's not traumatic necessarily, but over time it developed, like carpal tunnel syndrome and osteoarthritis of the knee. Like letter carriers walk 10 miles a day for 20 years, so their knees get all tore up. That would be a CA 2. What the problem is on the CA 2 is so many people don't realize they've got a condition that can be covered by OWCP. Like the letter carrier who walks 10 miles a day for 20 years, their knee hurts. They think, well, that's just normal wear and tear.
Right. Not
well,
realizing.
It's not normal wear and tear. You're a letter carrier for the United States Postal Service. There's nothing normal about that. And if you work there, you know that's true. And if you didn't work there and you weren't walking 10 miles a day for 20 years, maybe your knee's not going to be all torn up. So that CA2 condition can get covered every day of the week and twice on Sundays.
Right.
All you got to do is go to ecomp.dol.gov and fill out the forms. Side note, when you fill these out, you need to print them out because they're going to be in your case file on ecomp and take them to your doctor. All of your CA forms need to go to your doctor. So that's CA 1 and 2. They're basic. The first page is for you. The second page is for your supervisors. And make sure you have your supervisor's correct email because that's where it's going to go when you're finished with your part.
Right.
Now, the other thing about your CA 1, there's another side note. Your supervisor's got like 5 opportunities or 4 opportunities on their page, the second page, to hose your case. They're going to say things that are not true, that are incorrect, whether on purpose or not. It happens. They're going to say that the injury was due to willful misconduct or intent to injure yourself or another. They're going to say that it wasn't in the performance of duty. Their knowledge of the facts of the injury don't agree with what you said or what a witness said. So you got to take that stuff to the doctor because 99.9% of the time, the supervisor is just full of it and they're wrong. And so we need to deal with that in our narrative report. So that's a CA1 and 2. Now, skipping to the CA10, because this isn't a form you fill out, but it's an informational form.
Yeah.
The CA10 tells you what to do when you're injured at work. Guess what it's called? What a federal employee should do when injured at work.
And we went over the entire CA10 last Wednesday. So if you need to go back, you can see that video there.
But the CA10 form discusses the CA1, the CA2, and it also discusses the CA16. So I'm going to go there next. On a CA1 form or a CA1 claim where you were injured in a single shift, you need to report your injury right away. Now, the CA10 form, again, what a federal employee should do when injured at work. It says, sorry, I got stopped down. Melissa Reyes says, that's what my liar supervisor did.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. I'm with you, Melissa, 100%. Yeah, so the CA1 needs to be reported right away. And the same for the CA2. Like as soon as you know you have a work injury, you should report it the same day. But if you wait to report more than a week, you're not eligible for the form CA16 that I'm talking about right now. That's a problem. Move it over.
Yeah, no. Yeah, hold on.
That's a real problem for you because the CA16 pays all your medical bills for the first 60 days. Does that sound important or not? Like clearly that's important.
Very important.
If you don't have a CA16, your claim's not accepted. Okay, you just got hurt. It's not approved. Only 14% of you outside of federal injury centers even have approved claims. So who's going to pay your bills? You are. It's going to come out of your health insurance, which isn't right. You shouldn't do it, but it's going to happen. And that means you're going to be paying co-pays, deductibles, and so forth. And if you have a form CA16, for the first 60 days, the government pays your bills, which just makes sense because you got hurt doing a government job. Your supervisor is going to act, they'll either be dumb or they'll play dumb. Melissa, this one's for you. The supervisor is going to say, I don't have to give you that. Or you're not hurt bad enough. Or it's not an emergency or whatever. Well, you're not hurt bad enough. Show me your medical license. Like, dude, how do you know if I'm hurt or not? And the rule states that they have 4 hours from the claimed injury to give you your CA16.
Yep.
It doesn't say 4 hours from the claimed injury if you're hurt bad enough, if they have time, if they know what a form is, or if they even give a damn. It doesn't say any of that. It says they have 4 hours from the claimed injury to give it to you, period. So you have to demand it. Go to your union, get help from union reps, demand it. The form CA16 is so important. What, in our experience over the years, we found that people that don't get a form CA16 are the ones whose lives most frequently spiral financially out of control. You start making decisions about money versus about health.
Right.
And so that's not what we want to do.
Good.
So you get a form CA16. It's only eligible on a CA1, not on a CA2. But the CA1 is kind of urgent. It just happened, right? It's a traumatic injury. You need help right away.
Yeah.
And so that's what a CA16 is for. Any questions so far?
Well, no, I want to read what Julie Kiker said. She said, mine did that, plus tried to get the homeowner to change her story of what happened.
Okay, so the homeowner would be the witness on box 16.
The supervisor's trying to have them change it.
So the supervisor wants the homeowner to lie? Huh. Okay, well, what we want to do with the homeowner is have them put in writing that the supervisor tried to get them to change their story. This is a slam dunk case. You're definitely going to win this. This claim should get accepted. Because the supervisor, they basically punched your ticket right there by trying to ask somebody to lie. That's good. Sorry, I mean, it's bad, but it's good that you know it happened. Get documentation of it.
Tom Molinik said USPS PSE clerk on OWCP and automatic CA7. Every year they get a 5-day break in service and reappointed. Do they have to notify DOL or are there not any available for work and not to do anything? Right there. Sorry.
Talk amongst yourself. I got to read that again.
Talk amongst yourselves. Kelly, hi. I just joined the hell ride of OWCP.
Maybe stay still a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Victor, when USPS clerks get hurt on the job, I always tell them to request any and all CA forms right away. And that I do that too. When you guys are messaging me, all the new people, and don't know what the forms, I always get CA1 or 2, CA16 if it's a CA1, and a CA17. I always tell you to get those 3.
Yeah, so Victor said that PSE can send me a message. And go ahead and talk with Victor about that because he intimately understands what's going on there. But they don't have to let OWCP know if they don't have work for you, but they do have to let them know when they do have work for you. And then they also have to show that they made a good faith effort to find work.
Right.
But you're on, it sounds like you're on the annual rolls from CA7 and you're just getting paid. But it's always better just to go back and be able to clock in. Anyways, Victor, help out on that one, will you?
Maria said, a PM only realized the CA16 was a blank check after they handed it out. I guess now they say that you have to go to the doctor to request the CA16.
That's not true. You go to the supervisor to request the CA16 because the law says that. And it's not a blank check because the claims examiner for OWCP still has to approve the treatment. Like, if you have a sprained ankle, they're not going to approve surgery, right? It's not a blank check. You're not going to get surgery on a non-surgical thing. Let's say you have like a really jerk doctor for your knee injury and they give you a back brace. OWCP is not going to pay for a back brace. It's not a blank check. They're not going to give you, 60 days of physical therapy for a sprained pinky. All right. They don't, it's not how it works. Your supervisor's just dumb or plain dumb.
I think so. That's it for now. Oh, Julie said, I tried to get her to write a statement for me after the postmaster went to her and she wouldn't speak about it anymore. Wow.
Well, this is a customer and they just don't want to get involved.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, it gets a little sticky for the homeowner.
But here's the good news. Your doctor's medical narrative carries all the weight. And so whatever your supervisor says will be outweighed by your doctor. And so as long as you go to a doctor who can write a great narrative, you're going to beat this.
Victor, his name is Tom Molanick, Molanick. And Tom, if you're still on, can you just message Victor so he knows? And Victor, I will send it to you after if he doesn't get to you.
Look, we got Bobby DeLude, the podcast dude, on.
Bobby DeLude, the podcast
dude.
Where do you see that?
He's right there. He's on YouTube.
Yo, Bobby.
So Robert is our podcast guy. He edits all the videos and puts everything out. I'm glad he's here because I forgot to tell you to go to Breaking OWCP on your podcast app and download Breaking OWCP. We have the podcast. We haven't recorded anything in a little bit.
We will this week coming.
But we will. It's coming. So go to the Breaking OWCP podcast and download that.
Miss Rosa said they didn't have to let OWCP know that they don't have work available. That's a question.
Well, they have to let OWCP know they made every effort possible to find work. And then that's it. So, yeah, I guess they do need to let them know.
Hello, Nina from McAllen.
Have fun on your vacay. We are.
Donna said, I was in a wreck last week and I filled out the paperwork and now they said I got to do it on the computer, but it won't let us in the system. You got to create an account on ecomp.dol.gov. ecomp.dol.gov. That's where you have to go to file that. Chris is burning up here.
So this one, look, she's never not cold. It's 100 degrees outside in Florida, and she's got a heated blanket at home. And here we are, and this place is like a sauna. I could stand to drop a couple of pounds of water weight, trust me.
Juanita Ellis said, what can be done now if work injuries were denied? Supervisor said it wasn't his job to help me. I'm suffering from back, neck, shoulder pain. What can I do now?
File a grievance because it is the supervisor's job to help you. The second page of the CA1 and the second page of the CA2 is for the supervisor to fill out. I wonder why it says supervisor at the top of the page.
But if you're saying your claim got denied and you need help getting it accepted, you guys are all welcome to go to federalinjurycenters.com, click locations, and find a location nearest to you and ask for the case manager, and they will help you through all this.
And by the way, Kelly, so my supervisor has yet to give me any paperwork. The supervisor doesn't give paperwork. You go to ecomp.dol.gov and fill it out there electronically.
Yeah, and like Kevin Andrews said, get in touch with your union. For sure.
File a grievance.
We have Lindsay here. She's with Federal Injury Centers of DC, Maryland, and Virginia. They have 7 offices and 5 case managers who are ready to help. So those of you that are in the DMV area.
If you're in the area up there and you can't find a doctor to get your claim accepted, you're not trying because we have 7 offices up there.
Juanita said it happened over a year ago. Yeah, you have. Did you file your reconsideration? If you haven't, message me and I'll help you with that.
Yeah, so denials are not the end of the world. You just can't miss the deadline for the appeal. And you can appeal with a reconsideration as long as you get your appeal in within 12 months of the denied claim. So that's a huge window. Everybody can make it through.
Yeah. Who's in Iowa area?
Nobody yet.
We don't have anybody, but go to the website and look at all the locations. A lot of people have been traveling. I mean, that's all we can say if you want to, and you are allowed to travel out of state, in case you didn't know.
And I wrote volume 4 of Breaking OWCP. It's called the 25 Things You Can Do to Win in OWCP. And I wrote it for you. Like, no kidding. When I was writing that book, I was thinking of Iowa. I'm not just saying that. Don't I always talk about Iowa? Because for me, Iowa is that place, in the middle of the country where there's no doctors who want to help. And there's so many states like that. But that book, the 25 Things You Can Do to Win in OWCP, that was for you.
I'm going to read this. For some reason, it didn't pop up on my phone. It's Kelly Elizabeth, got a supervisor who attempted to PDI me for being on comp. Had former supervisor try to order me to work, thinking my claim was denied 3 days after the 45 days ended. I was using FMLA the whole time, which screwed my OWCP payment. Ended up with half pay and half FMLA on that one. Second actual supervisor claimed that they didn't know I was on e-comp.
On comp, like workers' comp.
Yeah. After they dragged me into the office in person for PDI for abusing LWAP, brought an approved workman's comp. Can't believe the HE double hockey sticks. OWCP has not paid the 66
and 2/3%. Yeah.
When I called them, told my question, non-debatable also, is his trying to PDI me a form of advance action or harassment, level 5 group leader custodial.
Yeah, so any action they take against you for filing a work comp claim is against OSHA. OSHA says you have a right to exercise your rights under the law, and the 6th right is the right to report a work injury. So it violates that. It violates the Code of Federal Regulations and the United States Code that says anybody who attempts to prevent someone from filing a work injury should be fined, imprisoned, or both. So anytime they're doing something to you to prevent you from exercising your rights, that's a problem. You need to contact 1-800-321-OSHA. You don't have to make accusations, but you should ask, is this a violation?
Yeah, you really should.
And then you need to go to your union and file a grievance because they're treating you unfairly.
Yeah.
You have every right to report this injury. You have every right to get the help you need. And there's no way to abuse LWAP. You're either out of work medically or you're not, right? And anyways, and that's what COP is for. It's there for someone, continuation of pay. With a CA1 injury, who needs time off? That's what it's there for. It's not an abuse. It's the law. You're just exercising your rights under the law. You're not abusing anything.
And those of you that are just hopping on, we are going over all the important CA forms. So if you need to share, tag your friends, go ahead. We just went over the CA1, the CA2,
The CA16.
CA16, and the CA10. Did you do the CA10 already?
A little bit.
Yeah, so we did a little bit. So what's next?
So the next thing is a CA17.
Hold your questions real quick because I'm going to go back and answer them.
I mean, it's okay. You can post them, but for a minute, I'm going to be talking.
Yeah.
So now the CA17. The CA17 is called a duty status report. This is how your doctor writes restrictions, takes you off of work, or sends you back to work. And side A says supervisor and side B says physician. I always say this. Where do you think this starts? Do you think it starts with your doctor? No, side A says supervisor. That's where it starts. So the supervisor will frequently not give you your form. Not okay. It's their job. And in fact, in OWCP, the supervisor really only has one real job. That's to fill out your forms and get the hell out of the way, right? But they don't. They're obstructionists. All they try to do is just get in the way and cause problems for you. The second you get hurt, like getting hurt, this is awesome. I get to take off of work and be hurt. It's so stupid. But the CA17 is there to write restrictions so that you can go back to work on limited duty. Lots of times, supervisors, especially when the claim's not accepted, they'll tell you they have no work for you. Because until the claim's accepted, they're really not required to give you that, your limited duty offer.
Right.
But when your claim's accepted, the limited duty offer is part of law. They are required to follow your doctor's restrictions or say, we don't have anything for you. You go home and you get paid.
Yep.
But most of you want to go back to work. And I always teach the surest way to get paid is to clock in. So we want you to get back to work. And that's why the CA17 is so important. Your doctor writes restrictions based on what your supervisor wrote on side A.
Right.
So that's what that form is for. And again, all these forms can be found at federalinjurycenters.com. If your supervisor says, I don't have access to a CA-17,
You
go to
get it.
federalinjurycenters.com and print one. If they say, I don't know what a CA-16 is, go to federalinjurycenters.com and print one. All right. There's no excuses. You're not at a permanent red light here. All right. It turns green the second you click print.
Right.
All right. What other questions do we have right now?
All right, let's go. Mary, I didn't get help in the beginning until I watched Federal Injury Help Center, gathered all the tools I needed. Then I called my union president in Atlanta, advised me to file an OWCP direct for a CA7. I did that, and here I am now. Did everything I could get better. Thank you, Federal Injury Center, Gini and Chris.
Very, very well.
And it's actually the team in Atlanta, Dr. Cooper and his staff.
I'll take all the credit.
Maria said you can see what the supervisor wrote on a CA1 on eComp.
You sure can. So once a supervisor fills out their part, everything that goes to eComp goes into your case file. You can always go and print that CA1 and know exactly what the supervisor said. Same for the CA2.
Yeah, Cindy said, hi from New Jersey. I filled out a CA1 and I was checking the status on eComp and it says that they didn't check COP, which I did. I called my caseworker and left a message. Looked for the form CA1. I filled out and printed a copy, and sure enough, I did check COP. I guess I just wait for my caseworker to call me back and fix that for me.
Yes. That was the easiest one of the night.
Mary said, never ask the supervisor. You will not get help. Sad to say, never get help.
Well, the problem with that, it's there's a lot of problems with that. Some supervisors just have the run of the place and nobody's checking them. You got to get them in check by calling outside agencies. When they violate the law, what do? They violated the law. Now, what happens to you and me if we break the law? Probably something not good. So contact like OIG, DOJ. They're violating the law. Like I said, 1-800-321-OSHA. Filing grievances. These are all, tools that you have. Somebody's got to push back on these supervisors, or you're just going to keep getting pushed around.
Jennifer said, if a supervisor asks why you are off work, I need to know you're off work. Does the supervisor have the right to know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
they have a right to know what they're doing when they're off of work.
No. So I didn't understand that. They have a right to know that you're going to be off of work.
Yeah, so she's saying if a supervisor asks why you are off work, I need to know why you're off work. Does a supervisor have the right to know?
Yeah, I'm off work because I have an OWCP work injury. Here's my doctor's disability narrative that explains why I have to be off of work. And here's my CA-17 filled out by the doctor that explains that I need to be out of work. So they're allowed to have those things. They can see the CA-17. They can see a CA-20, which I'll explain in just a minute. And they can get the disability narrative from your doctor. You can hand deliver it that explains medically why you have to be out of work. And that's about it. They don't really have a right to anything else.
All right, moving on with the next form.
So the CA-20 I just mentioned, this is like the substitute for a medical narrative. Your doctor fills this out. You get it from federalinjurycenters.com and take it to the doctor. The doctor can fill it out and you can give that to your supervisor, and that will give management a status update on what's going on with you. And if they want to know what's up, that's what's up. That's what the CA-20 is for. That in combination with the CA-17 is really all they need. They don't need anything else. They don't have a right to your medical records outside of the forms that the government created for this purpose.
Right.
These are the forms the government created so your supervisor can know what's going on. As long as they can read English, this is all they need. Now, I'm not saying they can read English. All right, I would never accuse them of being intelligent, but I'm just saying if they can, this is what they need: is a CA-17 or a CA-20.
Yeah, and like what Ron Speakman is saying, that it really never happens.
I think he's being sarcastic when he said that.
No, I know,
yeah.
But he is right. He's right about saying management doesn't care about the rules, laws, and regulations. Exactly what he's saying. They're violating it. It is disgusting. The whole thing needs to be blown up.
I'm not even sure they can read English to law. Requirement to work for a federal agency, do you have to be able to read English?
I think you should.
I don't know. It should be a requirement.
All the books, podcasts, and this is why Chris tells you to get the books in your pocket, because you can pull it up and say, look, here is here is the truth. You guys take charge of yourself and not depend on the supervisors, and don't let them push you around.
You know, when would this be important? I think the CA-16 is important because so many of you don't get one. But when you can show that the Code of Federal Regulations says they have 4 hours from the claimed injury to give it to you, well, now who are they arguing with you? You or law that was written by Congress? Okay. The other thing is limited duty assignments.
Yeah.
They all the time they put it in front of you and say, sign here, sign right now. Well, you don't have to. The law gives you 30 days to review it with your doctor. And what if you could pull that up and go, not so fast. I don't have to sign that now. Here's what the law says. And that's what you find in the books.
Judy Lynn said, who has authority, HR or supervisors? I mean, they're different.
I think you need to look at HR as supervisors. I come from a management background myself, and I always looked at HR as part of management.
Where do you get the booklet? So you go to www.breakingowcp.com, and please remember, after you purchase it and you click like pay, you have to wait because there is a button for you to click download PDF.
If you leave the site and you don't have the PDF pulled up on your device, you didn't download it.
Yeah.
Now I can email it to you, but it's a hassle for you.
Yeah. See, and like Maria said, it's true. They are not the same. So you have HR, you have supervisors, 2 different entities, but you need to, if you don't know, you should really talk to your union.
HR works for management.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Thank you, You're so sweet. All right, next form.
All right, so we talked about the CA1 and 2. Those are forms for reporting injuries. We talked about the CA16. That's what pays your medical bills on a CA1 form. The CA17 is how you get work restrictions from your doctor or taken off of work or sent back to work. I told you about the CA20, which is essentially a medical status report. The doctor fills that out. Your supervisor can have it. The last 2 forms I want to talk about are forms for reimbursement of money. Everyone likes money. There are 2 ways to get reimbursed.
And pay attention to this because you guys get super confused.
All right, so the OWCP 915, this is a medical reimbursement form. If you paid money out of your pocket, you can get paid back once your claim is accepted. Let's say you had to pay copays. Keep receipts. You can be reimbursed for your copays once your claim is accepted. Like any benefit in OWCP, none of them are available to you until your claim is accepted. Once it's accepted, we can start doing all these things. So the OWCP 915 reimburses you for money you paid out of pocket as a result of needing medical attention or therapy or something for a work injury. So the 915 form. And then there's the OWCP 957. Now, people right now are listening to this for the first time. They're going, holy crap, C1, C2, 16, 17, 20, 915, 957. What the heck? I know. It's a lot. It's overwhelming when you don't understand it.
Correct.
The OWCP 957 is a travel reimbursement form. So anytime you needed to travel as a result of needing health care because of a work injury, that form will reimburse for that. You are allowed to be reimbursed up to 100 miles round trip if you're driving at whatever the going rate is for mileage at that time. But you can, with pre-authorization, in other words, contact your claims examiner first. You can be reimbursed for airfare. You can be reimbursed for hotels, for meals if you had to go out of town, which a lot of people do. Like, what if you're in Iowa and there's no doctors there and you have to go someplace else? That's what that's for. Uber, Lyft, taxis, it'll reimburse all of that. You just need documentation to attach to it. And I recommend getting prior authorization from the claims examiner.
Yeah, because a lot of you guys call me and then you say, oh, but you guys said 100 miles round trip. I called my claims examiner and then they denied it. But if it's like 101, 102 miles, you have to get authorization. So try to get the authorization first before you decide to travel, or else you're going to be upset that you're not going to get your money back if they're not going to pay it.
But here's what I say all the time. And I have a bunch of things that I call criticisms. They're just things I say a lot. And I think them all the time. But this is one of them. The pain of travel is often far less than the pain of a denied claim.
Exactly.
And so sometimes you're going to drive 6 or 8 hours or 10 hours or take a flight because getting your claim accepted is like the whole ballgame. And it's not what we want. Okay, I don't want you to have to travel across your state or to another state to win. But unfortunately, we're only in 25 or 26 states at this point.
Yeah, we're working on it.
We're working on it. Like, we really are. I just told you, there's like 7 offices that are coming on. We're working on it. This matters to us a lot because we know how it matters to you. But inevitably, we'll get somebody that's saying, what, you're telling me I have to drive 4 hours to see the doctor? And my answer is no, you don't. You don't. But the only way I can help you get your claim accepted is if my doctor sees you.
Right.
And this is, look, I should say this too, disclaimer. You're here, you're getting educated. That's your purpose of being here. You don't have to go to a Federal Injury Center's office to come here and get this education. But I'm just telling you, the pain of denied claim is often far worse than the pain of travel.
Yep. Julie said, do you need a 957 for a second opinions ordered by DOL?
Julie, that is a fantastic question.
That is a great question.
So I read all of the second opinion rules recently again, and they reimburse for travel because they'll often find doctors out of state for you.
Especially if they are telling them to go, right? So,
yeah. I'd go ahead and put it on a 957 form because that's the only travel reimbursement form they have. But when it comes to a second opinion that you are required to go to, you can't skip it. They reimburse your travel expenses on that, even if it's 800 miles. They'll reimburse it.
So those are the two: OWCP 957, OWCP 915. Have you talked about the CA17?
No, yeah, 17. So the only thing I hadn't talked about is the CA7.
That's what I was meant to say, because here's the number one thing you guys call and message. I submitted my CA7. I haven't gotten paid. My first question when I message you, talk to you, or answer your messages is, was your claim accepted? A lot of you are like, I never filed a claim. I didn't know I was supposed to. You have to have an accepted claim before you can get your money back.
I have nothing more to say to that.
And on top of that, there are 4 pieces of paper that you should include.
Oh, I got to hear this. What are
on
they?
Your CA17.
CA7s.
On your CA7s. Number 1, attach a copy of your CA17. Number 2, attach a copy of your CA20. Number 3, have a printout of your appointments attached so they could see. Some people like to, especially if you're looking for your mileage, they'll attach like a MapQuest. I know a lot of people do that. And then number 4, the doctor has to do a disability narrative stating why he took you off of work.
Disability narrative is really important. It's what's always missed. I think we coined the term disability narrative. I don't believe that is an actual OWCP term. But what we found out is that people weren't getting paid even when we had the other 3 things attached. And so our doctor started writing these disability narratives, which essentially just said medically, here's why the person can't work. And that gets attached, and now you start getting paid. So the CA7 is called a claim for compensation. Its purpose is to pay you when you're out of work. But as Gini said, you can only get paid when your claim's accepted. That's it. Now, your claim can get accepted 8 years later, and you can go back and get reimbursed for all your time. So I recommend you keep track of it starting right away.
Oh, yeah, we know our good old friend Gilbert in Miami. I think he got like $8,000 back in 915s and 957 and all his mileage. CA7s, yeah.
Yeah, so start documenting right away. Start filling out the forms right away. Don't wait, because it just gets overwhelming. You start having to fill out multiple CA7s, multiple 915s, multiple 957s.
It's a pain.
And most people just throw their hands up and say, forget about it.
Yeah,
the money's gone, just forget it.
So do it every week. You just can't submit it yet. Don't submit it until your claim is accepted. At least when it's time, then you send them all away. Yeah,
and the question is, once it's accepted, how long do they have? How long do they take to pay you? That's an interesting. No, that's an interesting question. Let me tell you the answer I like, because I read a letter from a claim examiner that told someone to fill their CA7s and turn them in every 2 weeks. So a claims examiner said, turn your CA7s in every 2 weeks. They try to pay you like clockwork, right? Yeah. So that's the answer. But I read that directly from a letter that was sent to someone by a claims examiner.
Tom, I have a clerk at USPS going for a second opinion 90 miles away, and they are sending a car to her home to transport her to the doctor.
Yeah, they'll do that. Yeah, why not? Why not? They're going to pay for the transportation no matter what.
So there, I would take the free ride personally.
Make it an Escalade or something. That's really, really comfortable.
Maria said, yep, OWCP paid for a hotel stay first time and miles, thanks to the knowledge of Chris and Gini. Aw.
Mitchell, his dog started barking and didn't catch all the 4 things. CA17, CA20.
So you attach to your CA7s, CA17, CA20, a printout of your appointments, and you can attach a MapQuest if you'd like, but have the doctor's office sign it, like the office manager.
Let me say this though, a printout of the appointments is if you were out of work because you went to the doctor, because you went to therapy, because you went to MRI or something. If there are no appointments, then you don't have to print those out. If that's not your reason for being out of work. But if you're out of work because you're going to the doctor, you need to print those out.
Yeah.
And then a disability narrative from your doctor.
It's just a short paragraph.
What's wrong with you and why you can't work.
So a lot of you, we hear this, a lot of you kind of go to your primary care doctors or a walk-in doctor, and then I get the messages, they don't know what you're talking about when you're asking for a disability narrative.
They don't.
They really don't.
We coined that phrase. Nobody else even uses disability narratives in their trainings.
Yeah.
That's not what they do.
Well, what you can just do is tell the doctor, hey, it's a disability narrative. I need you to explain in a short paragraph why you took me off of work. If, like Chris said, if you had to stay home because of your injury. That's it. Really short. And we've seen like little couple sentences, a whole giant paragraph. So it's not that hard. Dawn Taylor, what happens when DOL isn't acknowledging an EMG which showed nerve damage?
Well, I mean, what does it mean that they're not acknowledging it? If the EMG report was uploaded by eComp, they don't have the option to not acknowledge it. Now they can deny everything. They can say, no, we don't agree. We don't agree that your neurological issues have anything to do with the work injury. But now that's your doctor's job to connect the dots, to show that as a result of this injury, this happened. And here's how that, this was the mechanism of injury. That's why our narrative reports are so strong.
Yeah.
Because we just do that naturally.
We had one office at the beginning when they started, the nurse practitioners wrote, I think it was like 12-page narratives. And we're like, that's great.
Like even for me, that's overkill.
That's a lot.
Like they should be like maybe 5 pages, 4 pages long.
Yeah, because so when you guys tell me, oh, my doctor just gave me a one sheet and it has 2 paragraphs, that's not a narrative that's going to get you.
That's gonna get denied.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Victor said they do reimburse for travel because I have a coworker that traveled from Winter Park to Melbourne, Florida, to Dr. David J. Dorfman's office. Well, there you go, guys.
They do. Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Samira Marie said Julie Jackson. Okay, that's answering. Maria said the Norwood office has printouts of the forms we need and lists of what to do to send in. Marissa is on it. She's so good. And almost all the offices.
Is that Maria or Marissa?
I'm saying Marissa is on it.
Yeah, but who said that?
Maria Portal.
Okay.
Yeah. So Marissa's really good at this.
Yeah, she is.
She's very detail oriented. Very. Mary said DOL will pay if you file your travel appointment mileages. There you go. And see, she's saying DOL because you want to make sure you guys have authorization before you waste a trip, and then you're upset that you had to drive 111 miles round trip and they didn't pay you because they won't pay you.
Let me read what Dawn said, just back on that second opinion thing.
Okay.
She said it was on 5/29, but the EMG was done on 6/14. Since a second opinion doctor didn't order it, they're disregarding it. Well, yeah, but your treating doctor must have ordered it. You didn't just go on your own. And so your treating doctor needs to write a narrative report explaining the value of that EMG and how it's related. And then they'll overturn that.
Yeah.
So these claims examiners are not doctors. They can't overrule the doctor. And they can say, that's not relevant. You haven't given enough proof yet. But once they get the proof, they can't overrule the doctor. Correct. And so that's why you want your doctor to write a narrative explaining your EMG.
John Kelly, at what rate of pay do they pay a schedule award? Date of injury recurrence or the pay rate at MMI? Eek. That's
a tricky one, okay? Because it's about how long have you been back to work full duty. Unless there's like across the board, everybody got a pay raise of 3%. Now, everyone's now higher. Then you'll get that. But if you've been out of work all this time, they're likely going to keep you at your pre-injury pay.
Yeah.
We'll have Eric Blowers on. Eric is the expert in schedule awards, and we'll make sure that we explain that when we have him on.
Oh, Juanita said, FYI, travel reimbursement is only good for 1 year, so don't wait to claim your mileage reimbursement. Many employees miss out on this.
So I heard that, and I've heard that people have been denied, and I'm not disputing it at all because I've heard it, but I've still not been able to find that in the rules anywhere.
Yeah,
So
for all of you
I'll look for it.
asking, we're going to look it up. I'll also ask Eric because he has a really good friend in there that he can ask and get the correct answer.
Yeah, I'd just like to know where that's at in writing because I've heard that lots of times too, Juanita.
Lindsay said, I had a patient get pre-authorization for a one-time visit to our facility more than 100 miles, but the claims examiner said she had to find a doctor closer and they won't reimburse her mileage after that first trip. What's the best situation? What's the best way to handle the situation? Great question.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
When the claim examiner says they won't pay for it again, they won't pay for it again. And so it just defaults back to the pain of the denial is often worse than the pain of travel, and you've got to make a personal decision.
Right. I see little Victor and Dr. Dorfman are so funny driving cars to each other here. All right. So we discussed well, not all, but the important CA forms.
CA1, CA2, CA16 and 17 and 20, and the CA7 and the OWCP 915 and 957.
8 important forms that you should really know. All of our books talk about them. You should know at least these 8 forms and help your coworkers if you're a steward.
And again, you can go to federalinjurycenters.com and every one of these forms are there and you can print them out. I put them there because I say this all the time. I used to go to OWCP, the form page, and I couldn't get the forms to load. And I have a great laptop. I mean, I have to. And so because I couldn't get them to load, then we just put them on our website. And that was that, because now nobody ever has any problem printing them on.
I can't see my, oh no, okay, hold on.
Everything's okay.
Okay, so that's the forms we went over. Don't forget, if those of you that have any friends that need help, go ahead and forward them the videos. They can watch us on all social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok on Breaking OWCP, and Facebook. And we're like everywhere on Facebook. And
everywhere all the time.
Okay, let me read this question. I didn't get it. Yeah. Okay. Jose said, my claim has been closed for about 7 months and I have been in light duty since my injury in 2020. Now my PO stopped me from work because of their budget, and I received an offer called DRAC for reasonable accommodations. I'm a little nervous, but sounds like I can stay busy while my case is reopened. Washington State area.
I've never heard of a post office stopping somebody for work because of their quote budget. I've never read that in the rules. A limited duty offer is a limited duty offer is a limited duty offer. And if you have a claim that's accepted, the limited duty offer should stand. It's not about the budget. That the budget's not your problem. Why is that your problem? You're injured. Why is the post office budget your problem? That sounds ridiculous to me.
Sandra said, once your claim has been accepted, you have 1 year to submit reimbursement. If it takes some time to get your claim accepted, you only have 1 year from that day to get it accepted.
1 year from the day it got accepted.
So I know it sounds a little weird, but like I said, we're definitely going to go check that out. We'll also ask Eric, and then I will post it on chats.
And Maria said, sounds fishy.
Yeah,
yes,
I know.
It does.
Those of you that didn't hop on at the beginning, I just wanted to tell you about some housekeeping stuff that's coming up. A lot of you are going to be excited. So
every single one of you should be excited.
Yeah. In April, the week of April 22nd, we are going to be training at no, we are not training, but we will be there with free volume 4 books at the APW State Spring Booster, I think they call it, with Victor and Angela. We're going to be in Miami for the week, which doesn't suck. It's actually awesome.
Am I teaching Victor?
Victor, you got to answer that. All right. And then in May 16th through the 20th, we will be in San Francisco for the APW State Convention. And Chris is training on Sunday, the 19th from 10 to 12. I advise all of you that are going to be there to stay and listen to this, and then come get your free copy of Breaking OWCP Volume 4. And then last but not least, this is what we have so far. AFGE BOP Convention will be August 4th through the 10th. Possibly Chris may be training, possibly.
I think they want me to. I want to.
But we will be there. We will also be giving out free OWCP Volume 4 books. And we always bring some fun stuff for you guys. So get ready for those of you in those 3 states, California, Florida, and Dallas, Texas.
Maria asked if we're coming to Norwood, Massachusetts.
Oh, yes.
I was going to say I don't know, but it turns out I know.
No, Maria, you're right. We are having a sip and socialize in the Norwood office, April 4th, 6:30 to 9. So if you're in the Massachusetts area, come see us, and we will be bringing
the Massachusetts
books.
Area. It's like a whole state. If you're in the whole state of Massachusetts, it's right outside of Boston.
Victor said, Chris, we are working on that. Hope yes.
Me too.
Yeah. So again, that's another thing. The April sip and socialize. The flyer will be coming out soon. I will make sure Marissa has it out to everybody and posting it on all of our social media.
Angela wants to know when we're coming to Dallas.
We are only coming to Dallas for coaching that we're doing.
We only have one scheduled trip so far, but
so far we don't have anything scheduled. We've done a lot of open houses in the Dallas area. Almost all of the offices have had an open house. So we'll come back around maybe the end of the year or maybe next year again. We'll see. When
it gets closer, what is Dallas, March or April?
We are going there.
March, right?
March for coaching. We get coaching, and so we go there.
Basically consulting.
Yeah.
So, but we'll let you know when we get closer. If there's going to be an opportunity for us to meet up and hang out, we definitely want to do that.
Yeah. Melissa Reyes said, hey guys, what's the difference between the 5th edition and the 6th edition? Good question.
Venus and Mars.
Yeah, it kind of actually is.
It's all about the way they calculate the impairment ratings, and it changed, I think, fairly drastically from the 5th to the 6th. But it looks like now they're tossing around this idea where they're going to be able to use either the 5th or the 6th, whichever one has greater value to you. So when we bring out Eric on, we'll have him talk about that too.
Yeah, Kim, we were just at our Manhattan office. We did a sip and socialize there. You guys, I mean, I know not all the time you're on Facebook or on social media, but I am posting everywhere we're going to be so you guys can make it. And I understand traveling to, especially in New York, it's crazy, traveling to certain areas to get there to see us, but we can only do what we can.
So the question is, who do we need to write to get back and neck injuries in the schedule award? You got to write your congressperson.
Yes.
Because this is just law. The 5th and 6th edition both have impairment ratings for the spine, but it's not accepted in OWCP.
Hey, Victor, I already got it. Angela sent it to me last night, so you don't have to. She sent me everything last night by email.
Near Syracuse, we're
working on that.
We have a couple of options that we're looking at in upstate New York, and Dr. Malemi's been really great in Manhattan and in New Jersey.
Yes,
and he's just like instantly on board with expanding throughout
New York.
The 5 boroughs and upstate New York. So hang in there. We're working on that.
Yeah, when we were just there, we gave him like a handful of cities.
And we know somebody, I think, in Buffalo.
Yeah, that mommy wants to
as well. So
yeah. So hang tight. We're sorry we're not getting there fast enough. It's only on the doctors.
We're moving at the speed of the doctor saying yes to us.
Yeah. So any other questions on the top 8 OWCP forms?
You've got 7 minutes. Get them in while you can.
So those of you that don't know, we are in my home state, Utah. We are here for vacation. This is when we take vacation in the winter. I only want to be here if it's ice cold and snowing, and I'm loving it.
It hasn't been ice cold or snowing.
Yeah.
It's been sunny, but there's snow on the ground.
Literally, you can go out like this. I mean, I'm just wearing a turtleneck and a little jacket. It's not that cold.
Yeah, it's crazy. if you haven't been in this environment, and I had never, like, I'm from Dallas, and we get extreme everything. Extreme cold, extreme heat, extreme tornadoes, extreme everything, right? And then I moved to Florida, and
you get extreme hurricanes.
You get those, but that's not that big a deal. And the heat is bearable. She hates the heat, but it's Florida. Like, just go to the beach and jump in the water. Don't get eaten by sharks.
That's why I won't go to the beach.
But you come here, and like this morning, I got up. It was 30 whatever degrees, and I walked down on the patio in shorts and t-shirt. It's not that big a deal. And I realized I'm standing outside in freezing temperatures in shorts and t-shirt. It's a different kind of cold. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, those of you that are in Salt Lake or Provo or Park City, if you want to come hang out with us, just message me. We'll hang out with you.
And if you are a federal employee in Utah and you have a work injury, we're in Cottonwood Heights.
Yes, Cottonwood Heights with Dr. Wood and Kathy as the case manager there. Dr. Hobbs is awesome. He's the DPT.
That's a doctor of physical therapy.
And everybody's friendly. Dr. Wood even opened up a bigger office just to put FIC into it. It's amazing.
And last time I talked to him a couple of weeks ago, he's hiring more therapy staff, more everything. So he's definitely geared up to help out. And our Kansas City's office is on too.
Come see us in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will be doing, some more open houses. There's Sip and Socialize. And whenever we come, we bring the books and stuff. But we just have to get our calendar straight, because what we do is we make sure that we take care of the union requests first, because this way we're able to teach live in person for you guys to understand. And we're there so you can talk to us one-on-one. So for all the other doctors' offices, we give it, we wait a little bit to see if we should go to the doctor's office.
Yeah, we want to come and see you. But yeah, like she said, we prioritize union work because that's where I get to go and train and make a big impact. And that's kind of my life's mission.
Yeah. Also, if you are on this page, don't forget to go follow the Breaking OWCP Facebook page. That's where we do our live podcast when we do it. Next week in the morning, we're going to be doing almost a podcast a day. Not sure how we're going to do the lives on it, but we will be doing a couple episodes. We will be having Eric Blowers on live talking about schedule award and third party. Once we get back, we're going to be handling that. So he'll be on our podcast a few times and come on live and answer your questions on chats another time.
I'll be interviewing Dr. Malimi coming up soon.
Yep.
He's an interesting doctor. He's a physical medicine and rehab doctor, medical doctor, which is different. It's a higher level specialty. And so we're going to bring him on and let him talk about what PM&R is. And I'm also going to have Dr. Dorfman on and have him talk about some of the stuff that they're doing. And
all the offices that he's doing. We have Joe on here, our partner Joe, and he asked, what cities do you guys want? So,
oh, God help you, Joe.
Go ahead. You guys fire away what cities, because he's the one in charge of all of that.
Des Moines, Iowa, Joe. Iowa.
Let's see. And then last but not least, as we finish out, again, as you see, we have BOP State Convention, we have APW Florida Convention, and APW California Convention. If anybody wants us to come and train, please lock us in, because once we're locked in, we give up everything. We give up everything that's going on at home, family, whatever. We come to you guys. So please lock it in so we have it on the date and we're prepared. So tell your presidents. I will repost after this live the requirements for us to come train, which is, it's actually nothing. It's just, when is it?
How much do they have to pay us?
Oh, the convention costs $0 and 0 cents.
Now, if we go and train at their union convention, are they required to go to federal interest centers if they get hurt?
No.
Really? Do they have to buy a book?
No.
All right. So that's the point. I'm just saying, like, there's no strings attached to it. We're there to help, whether you go to our offices or not. That's up to you.
So Joe got Des Moines, Iowa, Redding, California,
Sacramento.
So guys,
hey, and Joe,
shoot it up.
It'd be fun for you to list on here the offices that you're working on right now.
Yeah.
The city locations, because I think people would be really interested in knowing that. We talked about it a little bit in the beginning, but I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know all of it, Joe. List. So let's see if Joe's going to put some of the cities that are, pending, possibly coming. He said, got it.
Yeah, Redding's going to be fun.
Awesome. Yeah. And Carly and Sarah, we are coming to San Francisco, so we get to see you guys again.
Yep, can't wait.
We can't wait. And look at Sarah. She's one of the local presidents in Redding for APW, an amazing president. And Mr. Davis already officially invited us, so we will be in San Francisco. It's funny, Angela and Mr. Davis both emailed me last night with everything, and the BOP thing, we're there every year.
Daytona, Little Rock, Modesto,
Modesto, California, Reno.
Oh, Reno, that's news to me. That's awesome.
This is all news to us too.
You go on vacation for a few days and the whole thing just opens up.
All right, guys. So you see what Joe is working on. Long Island is also in the mix. So if you do have any locations and those people that are going to be watching the replay, drop it in here. And Joe will go back and look at all of those locations and start asking around. San Jose, Joe. Dayton, Ohio. I think somebody's coming to Dayton.
Tom's opening up in Dayton.
There will be an office in Dayton for sure.
Yeah, hang on, Lisa. That's actually right around the corner.
Christopher, the best president. Yes, he is.
Yes, all right. Connecticut. We know Maria.
Well, thank you guys so much for hopping on. This was fun for us because we actually have nothing to do tonight. We just had a nice day today, and I'm going to go make some dinner for us, and we'll see you guys next week.
Meal on vacation.
Yeah, we kind of like doing that a lot too. So we will see you guys next Wednesday for sure. I don't know what topics. So if there's certain topics you guys want us to educate on, we will not educate on schedule award and third party. We leave that to Eric because
it's too complicated.
Yeah. So we'll have him on, and his.
You're all going to be asking me how much your schedule award is, and my math brain won't be on that night.
Yeah.
We'll have Eric.
Oh, Joe said Dayton, Ohio, 2 months it'll be open. There you go, guys. Those of you in Dayton, St. Louis. Come see us at our injury centers of Kansas City. Yes, Dr. Pearson and Troy. They're really cute. They were a really cute couple.
We had a fun time with them.
Yeah, we had a fun time with them. So everybody, we'll see you guys back next week, Wednesday, same time, same place. And if you're looking for locations, don't forget to go to federalinjurycenters.com, click locations. And if you're looking to get the PDF, we do not email the books.
I mean, I will if you can't figure out how to download it.
Yeah, so you have to buy it. If it doesn't go through, email, and Chris will get it over to you. You can buy the book at breakingowcp.com. And again, anybody coming to Miami, San Francisco, and Dallas, we will be bringing actual books, and that's how you get a book.
All right. Hey, everyone. Have a good night.
See you guys.